So I'm Simon Hanna, I'm the Managing Director of JW Filshill. The company's 141 years old this year, spent well over a century based in Paisley down at Nethercommon, and we moved to Hillington in 1986. Business is a delivered wholesale business. We supply a chain of convenience stores called Key Store, which I know there's a number of them dotted around in Paisley. But also provide services and supply to prisons, schools, universities and colleges, as well as petrol stations, forecourts, pubs and other outlets that will sell grocery style products. A lot of people in Paisley will know the Filshill business from family members that work there, but many of them will know about the products and the brands that we used to have, from the toffee lollipops to the sherbet shandies. These were famous brands at the time. I remember my grandfather telling me that on a Friday after work they would take a whole lot of sweets out to all the kids on the street, and everyone would come down at the end of the shift. So these are things that the business has been involved in with the community for many years, and history that we're very, very proud of. Well, as I say, we're based in Paisley for well over 100 years. I guess when you talk about servicing the community, providing large numbers of employment in Paisley for a very long time was something that the family are very proud of. And we've got 26 connected families that work within the business. Many of the guys still come from Paisley, and a lot of those family connections have come through 2 or 3 different generations, which is phenomenal. But Paisley's a great place. People are very resilient in Paisley. They're very honest. They're very hard-working, and they're hugely proud of where they've come from. And we're very proud of our family business being from Paisley for many years. Oh, listen, I think the sharp sense of humour. I think there's nowhere else in Scotland that has the sense of humour that the guys from Paisley have. I have the pleasure of working with lots of these guys every day, and there's that feeling of pride and passion, but also humour, and I think that's what sums up Paisley Buddies to me. And there's plenty of funny stories that we have from guys that have worked with us over the years. But listen, I think when I talk about Paisley's pride, we talk about people connected to our business, and our 2 most famous connections to our business are Alistair Forsyth, the European tour golfer, and Gerard Butler's mum. She worked with us in the 60s. So these are 2 of our most famous or connected famous people that work for the business. There's lots of stories that people have. I think it's the sharp wit, the sense of humour, the ability to have fun when things are tough and hard work. I think that's the strength of the Paisley Buddies. Well, I think the introduction of Bray Head and Silverburn has put well, excuse me, a lot of businesses under pressure in Renfrewshire. But there's no doubt that Paisley is well set up for supporting their local communities. Independent stores based in the likes of Glenburn and Lochfield, and down in Fergusley Park, there's some great wee businesses that are really helping and supporting their communities in terms of their everyday needs, as well as being somewhere that they can drop in for a chat. So in terms of retail, being local is very, very important. We look at our own lifestyles. We're all very busy. We don't have much time, so actually having a great offering on our doorstep is something that will always be, if we can provide a good service. And we know that a whole load of independent retailers servicing communities in Paisley and other areas across Scotland is always going to be strong. Well, I think looking at where things have gone wrong and trying to adapt to that. So what does increased parking facilities look like in Paisley? What do rates reductions look like for businesses to encourage business to come into Paisley, into the town centre? We've got a phenomenal infrastructure in the airport. My gut feel is we need to link better to the airport in terms of a direct connection straight into the airport building from Paisley, and there's no doubt that infrastructure will play a key part, but Paisley is a great place for many things. Encouraging tourists is one thing, but encouraging people from other areas of Scotland to come. The Paisley Beer Festival will be a great example of the capability that Paisley has in terms of bringing people to the area for a fantastic event. You wonder how many more things like that we can replicate in terms of not just bringing international visitors to Paisley, but bringing people from all over Scotland and the UK. Well, listen, there's some absolutely phenomenal heritage and history. And a lot of people are very interested in history. We have the Abbey, obviously, in Paisley, as well as some beautiful buildings. My gut feel is it's about pulling all these things together and actually using the pride that we all have as Paisley buddies and pulling it together as a package and talking about all the great things that we have, not just individual things and component parts. We've got a football team there, and we've got the Abbey, and we've got a whole load of cultural mix there in terms of the music scene, and all these things need to be packaged together to create an environment that attracts many, many different types of people. Listen, of course, I believe that Paisley can be successful. The core components of winning these types of bids is about having a strong community that are together, about having good infrastructure and having a vision for what things might look like in the future. There's a lot of talent and a lot of willingness in Paisley from the community and from local businesses, and I think there is no question that the benefits could be vastly could be significant for Paisley, in terms of improved infrastructure, bringing people here, creating an environment that we claim as being our own, being the specialists in locally sourced product and supporting local. These are types of initiatives that I think would really benefit long term for generations to come. You saw the benefit that Glasgow got in 1990, I think it was, when the City of Culture was here, and a huge benefit was driven from there, and we're seeing the benefit of that decades later, and I think this is exactly what Paisley need.